don't say what for.
He brings the perspective.
Yeah, I think they both have great points.
Get off me, text line.
He's truly one of a kind.
That is wow. Oh, my God.
And he's doing a great job.
I need you to man up and say what you really want to say.
Simon, you're doing a great job.
And together, they're Steiny and Guru.
Yeah.
On 95.7 The Game.
There's something about benches clearing. You know there's stuff going on when you see the benches clearing.
No doubt.
When you see benches clearing, do you get excited or do you get worried that something may pop off?
No, something's already popped off. And when they come out the dugout and the bullpen, I love it. And I'm sorry, Steiny. I won't go down this road of the hypocrisy when it comes to the NHL and fighting, being a part of that sport, and it's okay. But that game was intensified times 1 million for me after that brouhaha with Bryce Harper. And I'm on both sides. I get Bryce was being a brat. He was 0 for 14.
No, that's me.
He broke his bat earlier. And then Kyle wasn't throwing at him. Kyle's not that type of dude. Smoke.
Well,
Dave Stewart. Rick Russell would have threw high and tight. But I don't think the kid was doing that. But for Harper to bark at him, throw it over the plate so I could break out of this slump, I thought that was weak. But Bryce has been hit, and he's lost many games, Steiny, due to getting hit on the digit. And he didn't. And that second pitch, that's when baseball, and it's why I didn't make pro. Seriously, Steiny, I'm not getting hit in the face. I just can't stand in the box with that heat.
Yeah, Harper's been hit a bunch.
Man.
Got hit in the face, and then he broke his thumb, I think.
I almost got hit in here yesterday. A lot of people in my camp coming down your road.
Coming down my road?
Dude, you sat there. Willard got up to physically help me. You were doing, we got action, as if it was fun. I was 2 millimeters away from being in a neck brace today and concussed. You got to watch yourself on the video, Snotty. It's just the pleasure you get when things are going down for me. We'll one day get to the bottom of it.
Goo, the thing was coming down at
play by
0.2 miles an hour. Okay.
No, it was faster
No, it
than
wasn't.
that. And Willard goes,
no.
We got more than blinds. That
No.
was the line of the whole thing. It's more than blinds.
No, the key was that you had those blinds down.
But I didn't know it.
Right. So when it fell, the blind caught it, and it just started trickling down slowly.
I think I wanted you to get up to come get him.
I'm across the room. It happened fast.
I studied the video like I needed more from my partner. But anyway, it's like bothering me.
I can't win. I can't win for losing.
The Giants lost yesterday, Stein.
Yeah, 6-1 to the Phillies. And a lot of interesting things happened in that game yesterday afternoon. I was on when we were on, so we kept an eye on it. And Luciano making a play in the third inning, then he came out ostensibly because of a hamstring.
Yeah.
We'll see if he goes on to the injured list. Obviously, Harrison struggled yesterday, and he got into it with Bryce Harper, who wasn't hitting in this series. So that's an interesting part of that game. And
now, what about 2 runs in 19 innings? Does that bother you at all, or are you concerned?
You win one of them. Not if you win one of them.
And Lamont Wade Jr., Steiny, is, he won't be back anytime soon. So I'm looking at 29, 28. I'm excited about everything that the Giants can be and what they look like now. But I am curious to see how this offense, where it goes, and can it respond without arguably their best hitter, who was batting .330 before he went on the IL, and that's Lamont Wade Jr.
Yeah, and that's another thing the Giants have to figure out, what they're going to do at first base. What do you do at first base if you're the San Francisco Giants? You just put
Flores 2 for 4 yesterday.
I mean, is it just going to be Wilmer Flores all the time, essentially?
Batting .219 right now.
Or does Trenton Brooks play a little bit, the lefty bat? Tell you what, I heard some interesting stuff about who else could possibly play first base. Oh. Why can't they just put Luciano there? I mean, he can catch, right?
Oh, Steiny, this ain't NBA. We need you to play the small guard. He's fine right where he's at.
Yeah, so the Giants, obviously the Yankees are in town tomorrow.
That's, big 3 games, Steiny.
Yeah, so let's, I want to play some of this sound from yesterday because it's pretty interesting. What do you want to start with, Goo? The Bryce? Let's start with the order it happened.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so it was in the...
4th inning.
4th inning. No. I'm looking for the Luciano.
Oh, okay.
Had a ground ball in the 3rd inning. Routine.
Wow.
And he was a little too casual, and Stott beat it out for the Phillies. Okay. But listen to Kruk and Kipe. And I just want you to listen to this because to me it tells you something. All right, here we go.
Well, I mean, he gets the ball, and he has a little extra shuffle step. He takes his time, and he didn't have it. I mean, it's really an example of a rookie that doesn't know his opponent. He doesn't know Stott's got that kind of speed. You cannot give this Phillies team extra outs.
All right.
Wow.
That's pretty harsh. But it's a rookie not knowing.
But how do you not know? With all the cards and if I'm Luciano and I know my time might be numbered, Steiny, I bet the one thing I better know is I better know who's coming out of that box and how fast they are. And I want to defend Luciano here. I'm no doctor, but Steiny, you brought these guys up a couple weeks ago. Steve Sachs, Knobloch. I think a play like that, the ball left his hand, but so much is going through the dome now. I feel like upstairs he's cooked. You know what I'm saying? He's cooked. And that's what that play represented to me.
Well, and he came out of the game. He got pinch hit for that after that inning. And obviously that led to some speculation about whether Bob Melvin simply took him out of the game because he was too casual with that play. Yeah. But the TV broadcast seemed to indicate that he's dealing with a hamstring issue. And I guess the next question is whether or not he'll go onto the injured list. And I guess if he does go on the injured list.
That's probably it.
Well, I was thinking maybe that's one of the reasons why he struggled in the field because he's not 100%. But that would be, I mean, really, really giving him the benefit.
And I heard our FP Santangelo on with Willard and Dibbs after the game, Stanley. I don't know if you caught him. He said in the big leagues, you just don't do guys like that. You know, you don't just go pull them out and shame them that way. So when it went down, I really thought he might have been pulled because of that. But that would have been the first time I can say to you and the masses, I've seen something like that. But, yeah, something's going on upstairs, Steiny, and if he's hurt and hits IL, it's probably the last time we'll see him on the big club, barring injury.
Here's more on just the frustration of the Giants announcers.
Well, I think you and I saw it the same way, Mike, is there wasn't urgency in this at all. So right now you got to be urgent.
Just a mistake.
Yeah, and when he was saying you need to be urgent, they were showing the replay, and he fielded the ball and just kind of took 2 little hops and pumped his glove once and threw over to first, and it was late.
Yeah.
It was just late.
It was a bad look, too.
Well, Luciano's not coming out of the on-deck circle. It's wisely. So something happened.
Well, he may be fighting a bug. We don't know. But something's not right with Marco Luciano for him to leave the game.
So there you go. The question is it mental or physical, or is it both? Or is it
sickness? Kruk goes, it might be a bug.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, you know.
I mean, I got no problem with giving a guy the benefit of the doubt on something like that happened yesterday, but the problem is it's been a pattern with him. And I wonder if, and again, just hearing Hunter Pence and FP Santangelo and now Kruk and Kipe over the last week, it's clear that we've got an issue with Luciano at shortstop. You can't have a shortstop who can't field unless, as Pence says, he's hitting 50 homers.
How do you fix it, though?
I don't know.
And how did it get this far?
That's a good question.
Dibbs asked FP that. Like, how did any scout not know that this guy, you know what? The best thing for him is let's try him, have him shack some balls in the outfield just to practice. How does it get to this point? And my thing to you, Steiny, is how does it get corrected? When this hammy heals up, if he hits IL and he's back to Sacramento, I think if I'm Luciano, put me in the outfield. Like, I mean, this is kind of crazy.
I mean,
how does it get rectified for him? Or does he need to go to another team and then they start fresh and then go to short or what? I don't know, but it's odd that it's gotten to this point and it looks like he is not in the right position. That's crazy.
I don't think after what's happened here, a team would trade for him thinking he's a shortstop. So what's going on with the Giants and Luciano? I think what may have to happen is he goes back to – see, here's the thing. If he goes on the injured list today, let's say, Nick Ahmed's going to return before those 10 days.
It's a wrap, yeah.
So
you'll be back in sack.
Probably. But is that the worst thing? I mean, guys get better the more reps they get, and maybe he just needs another full season of playing shortstop in the minor leagues, and next year he'll be ready to field his position. But it just seems clear to me that there's no way Bob Melvin likes writing his name into the lineup at shortstop. There's just no way. And here's the other thing at what point does it affect, or maybe is it affecting already, the pitchers? I mean, pitchers have no confidence in the shortstop or in a fielder. That's a bigger issue than just the guy fielding, because now he's impacting other players.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but again, I was the one saying, hey, Luciano, when the Brandon Crawford era was over, this is a great time to hand the baton to Luciano, and to come to find out maybe why he wasn't the opening day shortstop is he's got some issues with the routine balls, Steiny. And then yesterday, did you see the first base, the umpire, he said safe, but he said it in a way like he knew it was Luciano and he was going through some struggles like, dude, you took too long. And when he gave the safe call, Steiny, it was more mustard and pizzazz on it. And I was like, the ump knew what was going on. Like, get rid of the ball.
And I actually thought he got him until I saw the replay, and he didn't get him.
Because he took that's why I brought up Knobloch and Sachs and what
this is different.
What's going on with your clock?
This is different. I mean, those guys literally
the ball didn't
stop throwing the ball to first base.
That's
and
crazy.
Couldn't.
That is crazy.
Luciano can get it over there. It's just what happens between the time the ball's hit and the time he throws it. But I'm interested to know.
True. He's fighting the bug. That's when you got your dudes back.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what Giants fans feel and how they feel about Luciano at this point. Because I'll be honest with you, a couple weeks ago, it's easy to say, and especially a couple weeks ago, it was so easy to say, let's just let these kids play. It's easy to say let the kids play when you're 6 games under 500. Mm-hmm. But if you think you have action, then I think the writing's on the wall for Luciano this year. And at that point, you have to ask the question, where do you go with Luciano? And I think I think you're right. If he goes down and stays down because they're going to use Ahmed and maybe Wisely at short, then I think you got to think about changing his position.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So
it'll be something to watch.
Yeah, the 925 on the Xfinity Mobile text line. I've been watching baseball for 45 plus years. I've never seen a shortstop with his glove in the wrong position as many times as Luciano. So,
man,
I mean, there you have it. And there's going to be a lot of things to look for with the Giants. We got to figure out what we're going to do with Luciano at short. We got to figure out what we're going to do, and I say we because I'm a big Giants guy.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do when Austin Slater returns? And everything I'm hearing is Conforto's going to try to play this weekend against the New York Yankees.
I hadn't heard that.
So Conforto is likely to be coming back over the weekend. And so what do you do if you're the Giants and Melvin and Farhan Zaidi? You have finally started winning games, but now you got to keep winning games. And the question is, what's the best way to do it? 888-957-9570 is the number. We got a lot to get into today regarding the Giants. At 11 o'clock, we're going to have Brett Boone. Brett Boone's going to join us on 95.7 The Game, and there's some Warrior news out there we're absolutely going to touch in the second or third hour of the show. But right now, I'm just asking Giants fans pretty simply, and we'll get to Harper and Harrison in a minute, but what do you do with Luciano? I mean, what do you want to see the Giants do with Luciano? Because I think something's changed between 2 weeks ago and now, Goo. I just think that I think Giants fans, now that they've gotten an up-close and personal look at Luciano, they're probably feeling like I am, that we got trouble if we have this guy playing shortstop in the field.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at that, but what if I told you I don't think they're as surprised as you might think?
The fans?
No, the team.
Oh, the team. The Giants
that's why his ass was not up at the start of the season, and I guess they were kind of hoping, a brother's going to work it out, in the midst of the actual real-time game. But, Steiny, this is an issue to the point of I don't think there's no point of return in a Giant uniform, and his future is shortstop. So when you talk about if he avoids the IL stint or he's on there, the bottom line is you got to have a real conversation with Luciano and say, when you talk about his future, Steiner, he's got the build, he's got the athleticism. Maybe we need to see what you are as an outfielder. That would be doing your due diligence to me. Yeah, I don't know what else you would do to run him back out there. And now that you got an option in Brett Wisely where he can play short.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah, from the 650 on the Xfinity Mobile text line, honestly thought he was distracted by the runner at second that was running in front of him. I mean, that's. I think you're probably right.
Okay.
But
what about the Pirate game?
Exactly.
What about the Met game?
No, I'm talking about the Wisely had the exact same play earlier in the series with the Phillies. He makes the play and throws the guy out at third base. And there's a feel that Luciano doesn't have right now. Question
408 says, guys, he's 22. Relax. No, this is bigger than relax.
Yeah, and Luciano was a player who was drafted by Bobby Evans as part of the international draft.
Signed as an international free agent.
Okay, he was signed as an international free agent when Bobby Evans was here. Does that factor into it at all? I mean, in a way, I'm thinking, well, Luciano's not Farhan's guy, so there's pressure to bring him up. And maybe Farhan Zaidi thinks, you know what, I got to bring this kid up because everybody wants him, even though maybe I don't think he's ready. Sometimes you put a guy out there to make it known he's not ready. And
well, you needed him, though, Stoney. It was by necessity.
Right, and you put him in there, and now Wisely's getting at bats from the shortstop position. So what I'm getting at is maybe Farhan just felt like, all right, let's bring this guy up, and if he does well, great. If he doesn't, I'll send him down.
And then what?
And he's got to get better. He's got to get better at shortstop or a new position. Right. But what I'm thinking is, because I think that's a big part of this year. Farhan's future status with the Giants and whether he's going to be here next year and what is going to be the reason he's here or not here. And I think by giving Luciano at least a chance to fail, which he kind of has, now we realize that letting the youngsters play, particularly Luciano, isn't the way to go.
Yeah.
And that one's not on Farhan. Yeah. It's not on Farhan Zaidi.
Well, it'll be on Farhan to see what they do in his future and how they try to fix him, and if he wants to be fixed.
Yeah.
And people keep bringing up the Emmitt Smith. He's only 22. Okay, we'll see how that works for him. But Stoney, in baseball, to me, you want to be strong up the middle, and shortstop is everything. And you talked about just the confidence that pitchers have, knowing that they feel like they got a guy at that position that can pick it. And we've seen some crippling errors to where they've got past it, and it ain't bit them in the ass, but you can't keep going forward, especially now when you're talking about not just with the glove, you field the ball, and now it doesn't come out because your clock is slow or off or whatever's going on upstairs.
This from the 530 from the Xfinity Mobile text line. Bro is giving up on Luciano after a handful of games and some errors, that's a loser take. Who's giving up on him? Nobody's giving up on him if he goes back to Sacramento. I don't think. But the reality, the situation is you can't play Luciano at shortstop if you have playoff aspirations and if you think you got a shot at it. And over the last 2 weeks, the Giants feel like they got a shot at being a good team, so they got to put their best players out there. They also, listen, the other thing, it's not giving up on Luciano, but, Goo, you owe something to Matt Chapman.
Oh, my gosh.
You owe something to Logan Webb. You owe something to these players to put the best team around those veteran players, and if Luciano's not it, he's not it.
Yeah, no doubt. And let's keep it real, Steiny. All of this, when you talk about these prospects, it's a crapshoot, even the top ones. But what you've seen, the Giants, that is, and the fans, from Ramos and Matos, you've hit on those two. You like what you see. So to get the trifecta of everything looking great early, I don't want to use the word disappointment, but he really didn't get a promotion. He came up because there was an injury, and now I just feel like he's telling the world this is why he wasn't the starting shortstop opening day, because he wasn't ready. And now the question is, and we'll find out because you can't hide them, is what they do with them. But, Steiny, how can you really have a real conversation right now and say, you know what, we envision you playing shortstop for us? Because right now I would pull the plug, I believe, and try to see if he could be an outfielder. And maybe he's an outfielder for a different team. Maybe the deadline comes, he's been in Sacramento, and somebody says we can save him. He's still young enough, he can still be a shortstop. But what you just said is it's about now, and the pitchers and the team deserve better, and that means you got to put your best defensive infield out there, and he's not one of them right now.
It might be as simple as he goes back to Sacramento and plays shortstop for them all year, and we'll revisit it next year in spring training and see if he's improved. That's not giving up on him. He's 22. He's still young. But look, I don't think it's hard to figure out why the Giants don't want to find another position for him, because he's more valuable as a shortstop if he's functional, and he's going to be the hitter that they expect him to be. If they move him to the outfield, he kind of becomes, I don't want to say a dime a dozen outfielder, but a lot of outfielders that can hit. So I see why they're going to give him every opportunity at shortstop, but if the team's contending and the team wants to win, he's got to play shortstop in Sacramento, not here.
I get it.
Unless the Giants have so many injuries that they need Luciano to play shortstop.
And him being, I'll go birth certificate. We do that on the shows, Donnie. But if you tell me what does Luciano look like is short in 2 years, he's 24 years old or 25, then okay, he's got action. But as far as the immediate and me hearing that name and getting excited, I feel like he butchered or he bobbled this opportunity. Luciano did.
I think obviously
there's just no way around that.
Right, but I don't get the sense he's fielding. I mean, he's got to be fielding worse than he fielded in Sacramento. But I'm with you though, Goo. I don't think this has caught the Giants by surprise, other than maybe they're saying, boy, he's, it's a little mental thing right now. He's got to get over that mental hurdle, and then he'll be okay. By the way, too often these days, just people are reminding me of my age, and
you look great. Look at your hair.
There's just from the 530. Also, Steiny, the kids say L take. It's an L take. There's no need to say the whole word loser take. I guess the kids say it's an L take.
I'm going to rebuke that. I'm not
I showed my age.
No, please. Yeah. Please. You look good.
Yeah.
I just wish you would have been a little more active when the building was crashing down on your boy.
The bottom line is I could have tried to come over there and help you, but it would have taken 4 minutes.
It was your tone of, we got action. No, we don't. We got an emergency. Willard got up and left his seat. I appreciate you, Will. Dibbs did the play-by-play.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. This is unfair.
I was in my bed watching the video, Evan. I just kept running it back like, Why is his voice like when Guru's out? It was that. It was part 2. Guru's out. He's been eliminated. There's a pitch of just joy.
I had no idea what was happening.
I get
None.
you. I get you.
So,
yeah.
And it happened so fast that, I struggled to do so.
We got to go.
I know we do, and I got to get my papers out of my bag. How about that? On 95.7 The Game. By the way, Brett Boone coming up at 11 o'clock. And don't forget to download that Odyssey app on 95.7 The Game.
Have you been wanting to find the secret to losing weight and getting healthy the natural way with no drugs or